What's up, Tailgaters? You're in the booth with Tailgate Nate today. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my final conference preview, standings projection, whatever you want to call it here, and conference championship prediction. We're rounding it out with Conference USA. Again, only 9 conferences this year. I'm not really going to be previewing the 2 teams in the Pac-12. If you want more information on those 2 teams, go watch their separate videos. Again, that's Oregon State and Washington State. But hey, before we dive on into this one, couple things. I am congested, so apologize for the way I sound. I know I've said that a lot today, but hey, I just figured I'd let you guys know again in case this is the first video of mine you happen to be watching today. But thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video because it seriously does help support me, it helps support the channel, and it just helps support everything that I want to be doing as an aspiring sports media professional. And if you are as big of a college football nerd as I am, and you like what I have to say, and you want to hear more of it, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. I'm posting a ton of content this college football season. And hey, speaking of my journeys as an aspiring sports media professional, go follow me on Twitter at TailgateNate29. I'm posting a lot more things than just YouTube, posting about games I call or projects I do or things I edit or this, that, and the other, just about my journey as a sports media professional. I'd really appreciate it if you gave me a follow. Thank you so much for that. But again, help support this channel any way you can as well. Again, subscribing, ringing the bell, go back, watch my other videos. Or you can also like, you can comment, you can share, and you can do anything else to help support the channel. This video will be a little bit shorter than the others I've put out today just because there aren't that many teams in Conference USA. But there is a new team to the Conference USA fray this year, and that is Kennesaw State. And I actually want to talk about them first because I just generally don't think they're going to be that great of a team this year. Kennesaw State is going to have trouble adjusting to the FBS level. They were not a great FCS team last season. Granted, they only played 9 games. They won 3 of them, but they just weren't that overall great of a team. Yes, they do have a lot of good returning talent, and maybe 0 wins is selling them very short, but I just think it's going to be a big struggle for them adjusting to the FBS level. They also have to play one of the better FCS teams in the University of Tennessee Martin this season. I think it's going to be a struggle for the Owls this year. I just don't really like the team. Again, a lot of returning pieces that I do like individually as a team. I just don't think it's going to gel that well for them in the Conference USA realm at the FBS level. Give them some time, though. I do think that Kennesaw State can be a solid FBS team, can be a solid team in Conference USA. I just think year 1 for them goes awry and doesn't go as planned. However, that being said, Jacksonville State's a team that proved us wrong in that. Sam Houston State's going to start to climb that ranks back up. And you go look at James Madison, who's quickly turned into one of the best teams in the Sun Belt Conference. So again, Kennesaw State can prove us wrong. It's happened before with James Madison and Jacksonville State, to where they come up from the FCS level. There aren't really that much big expectations. A lot of people think they're going to have trouble adjusting to the FBS level. And then boom, they go out and do that. So we'll see what happens with Kennesaw State, but a team that I just don't think is going to end up being that great here in 2024. I wanted to talk about them first because they are the new team. And, I mean, welcome to the FBS level of college football, I guess. I just don't think you're going to, again, they'll be close in a lot of games this year. I don't think they're going to end up winning one this season, though. Well, I should say, let's go on the opposite end of the spectrum now. Kennesaw State, again, a team that I don't think is going to be that great this year. Liberty is a team that I think is going to be amazing this year and absolutely can make a push for a spot in the college football playoff. 11-1 is where I have them. I do think, though, that, look, that schedule is really, really easy. No Power 4 school. You play some teams out of the group of 5 realm that aren't going to be that great, and you are in arguably the weakest conference in college football in Conference USA. They do have to play App State, though, and I do think that's where their loss comes because Liberty lost a lot of important secondary pieces, and Joey Aguilar returns a lot of good wide receivers, and that pass game should be lethal for App State this year. But when you look at the Liberty Flames overall, I mean, it's hard to imagine that this is not the best team in Conference USA. I have them going to the conference championship. I have them winning this conference. It would be bold, in my opinion, to predict otherwise. You have Caden Salter coming back. You have Quentin Cooley coming back. You have Vaughn Blue coming back, who's going to see a much bigger role this season. A lot of important wide receiver pieces come back. And I mean, overall, this is an offense that, look, ran the ball really effectively last year with both Cooley and Salter. They'll do it again this year. Both those guys come back. And I mean, Liberty's offense is going to be good. Really, really good. A lot of returning pieces in that front 7. Again, they do lose some pieces in that secondary, but they're able to get some nice returning talent in through the transfer portal. Dominic Hill's going to come into play corner for him, as well as a couple of guys that I believe more than likely will sit in that safety room as backups, that as 2s. Maybe we'll even see some starting time at points this year. Liberty is stupid. They're ridiculous. They're going to be a really good team. I think they'll walk over Conference USA, but the loss to App State might keep them out of the college football playoff just due to their resume when you compare it to a team that I have making it in the Boise State Broncos. But again, Liberty going to be good enough. And again, I just think there's no further explanation needed as to why I think they're going to win Conference USA this year. The two teams that I think can compete with them this year, though, Western Kentucky and Jacksonville State. We'll start with Western Kentucky because I do have them making the conference championship game this season. And when you take a look at the likes of Western Kentucky this year, well, they actually are going to be losing some very important pieces off of last year's team. Including that wide receiver in Malachi Corley, who was really, really vital for you. Austin Reed is also going to be gone, but you bring TJ Finley in. If he is going to have any sort of season like he had at Texas State last year, where he put up over 3,500 yards, put up some big touchdown numbers, was really smart with the football. If that carries over, Western Kentucky might very well pick up right where they left off last season, and I still think they're going to be one of the better teams in conference. A ton of secondary help comes in through the transfer portal that are going to see huge, big time playing minutes. Overall, my apologies. Overall, I think Western Kentucky, again, going to be a really solid team this season. They're going to be one of the better sides in Conference USA. As good as Liberty? Probably not, but I do have them good enough to make that conference championship game where they will be playing the Liberty Flames. Now, Jacksonville State, I'm not sure is eligible for a conference championship game spot, but the way that I had all my predictions and things work out this year, they do happen to miss the cut anyway. But when you take a look at Jacksonville State, one of the newcomers to the FBS ranks last season, and they, again, kind of the way I was talking about things, they surprised us, right? They were one of the better teams in Conference USA, and I believe if they were eligible, would have made the conference championship game. Logan Smothers is going to be taking over the quarterback role for them this season. If not him, well, Zion Turner, I believe a UConn transfer, does come in there. A lot of important transfers come into the wide receiver room. Brandon Spector, Samario Rudolph, and a couple others that are coming over from some big-time programs that'll see significant playing time, and the Jack State offense should still be really, really good this season. Got a lot of the conference's best offensive linemen in there as well. Defensively, you had to fill some holes, but you did so very nicely through the portal. Other returning talent, I think, is going to step up and play well for this program. And overall, again, Jack State should be one of the better teams in Conference USA this season. Got them at 8-4 and 6-2. Again, a tiebreaker loss to Western Kentucky, just barely missing out there on the conference championship game. But then when you take a look at things, right, all the way from UTEP, maybe even all the way down to La Tech, it's going to be a battle for really, and it really is a crapshoot to me. It probably is a crapshoot to you as well as to who finishes from 4th to 9th. Really, you could put the teams in any order, and I would hear any single one of those arguments because the middle of the pack in Conference USA this year is going to be really, really, really fun to watch. I'm going to start with the team that I like the best, and that is the UTEP Miners. Not only do I like them the best, the way that I sorted out tiebreakers, again, I don't know the exact tiebreaker system within Conference USA. The way I sorted out my own tiebreakers, UTEP did have that tie-breaking win, again, throughout all the teams that went 4-4 in conference. UTEP was the team that ended up getting that tiebreaker one, sounding like a broken record at this point. But I also like them the most. I love Scotty Walden as a head coach, and give him some time with this UTEP program. I think he's going to be able to turn this UTEP team into a Conference USA contender. Absolutely. You have Cade McConnell, who's going to be taking over the quarterback position for you. If not, Skylar Locklear is a transfer that follows Scotty Walden over, and a ton of other transfers from Austin Peay follow Scotty Walden over here as well. In the running back position, Jevin Jackson, you have Cam Thomas coming in. Corey Wren also comes in. A lot of wide receiver transfers. Trey Goodman, Jaden Smith, Ashton Nickelberry, Kenny Odom to pair with returners like Amari White and Giovanni Gardere. Hopefully I'm saying that name right, because they did lose a lot of wide receiving talent. Kelly Akari is that big name that they did lose, as well as some of the more important features to that offense in the running back room, like Deion Hankins and others last season. But the defense returns a ton of talent on that defensive front. A lot of good talent comes into that through the transfer portal into that defensive back seven. Again, I like UTEP the best. Still, all these teams just shy of bowl games, but UTEP is my favorite to get to that bowl game and my favorite to get that number 4 spot. Sam Houston is sitting right here as well. I think they improved from last year, got a couple really nice returning pieces, and I think Casey Keeler's group will be improved from last year. I don't know if they're going to be able to make a bowl game this season. I see it as a little bit unlikely just because I think that non-conference schedule is going to be able to get the better of them a little bit. They play some pretty tough teams there on that non-conference schedule, But overall, I think Sam Houston going to be a solid team this year. Again, non-conference holds them back a little bit, but they'll go 500 in conference absolutely. Florida International is another team that I like. Watch out for Kwan Jenkins at the quarterback position. You're looking for a breakout star in Conference USA. He very well could be it. He's got an exceptional skill set, some really good skill position players around him, but he himself is going to win Florida International a lot of games this season. The Panthers have some pretty good players coming into the defensive side as well. Again, I like the team. I just don't think it's enough to get to the postseason. Same thing with Middle Tennessee. I love their quarterback in Nicholas Vadiato. I think he's going to be one of the better quarterbacks that necessarily isn't going to be talked about enough throughout the group of five realm. But I think Middle Tennessee, again, a couple pieces away from getting into a bowl game, but should still be solid and competitive out of the Mountain West Conference. New Mexico State and La Tech are sitting down here at 2-6, and I actually did have to pretty majorly fix La Tech's record. I think I had them at 5-7, 3-5. There was a double up there in terms of my prediction, so that's why La Tech looks a little bit different in my standings video than they do in my actual prediction video. So this is the one you pay attention to here. 4-8, 2-6. Although 5-7, I could see equally as likely for La Tech up there with the UTEPs and Florida Internationals and Middle Tennessees. Again, I think it's going to be a little bit of a struggle for La Tech this year, but they still got some solid players there. And New Mexico State, just lost a ton. And due to tiebreakers, they are above La Tech there. But New Mexico State, probably the team that I would sit at the number 9 spot. They lost their head coach. They lost their quarterback, running backs, wide receivers, defense, in every single aspect. And I think it's just going to be a struggle for the Aggies this season. Not going to win that many games. They will win some, and they'll be fairly competitive within the Conference USA, as there are some good pieces still there. But overall, I think you lost too much to have as good of a season as you did last year, and New Mexico State winds up having a disappointing season after a 10-win campaign last year. Again, guys, I think Liberty's going to run away with this conference, and that's no knock to Western Kentucky or Jacksonville State or even teams that could surprise like Florida International, Middle Tennessee, or UTEP. I just think Liberty is clearly the most talented team in the conference. They have the best quarterback. They have the best running back. They have the best wide receiver room. They have the best defense. They have the best head coach. What else do you want me to say? I think Liberty's going to win Conference USA, and they'll make a run at going to the college football playoff. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Remember to play hard, but tailgate harder. And in my next video, whether that's today or tomorrow, we're going to start going through some of the biggest matchups that you will see in week 1. The first full slate of college football is coming up this weekend. I can't wait to preview it for all you fine people. We'll see y'all in the next video. Goodbye.